It's a devastating blow for supporters of Malawi's Vice President Saulos Chilima. They gathered at his official residence in the capital Lilongwe for a vigil following the announcement of his death on Tuesday. The government since said he'll be given a state funeral.
What is very important at the moment is that we mourn our beloved Vice President and the others that lost their lives in a manner that is very dignifying.
Chilima was in a small twin-engine plane that crashed on Monday near its destination, the northern city of Mzuzu. It took more than 24 hours to find the aircraft and confirm his death. The remains of the 9 people on board were flown by helicopter to Lilongwe. President Lazarus Chakwera announced last month that he'd run for a second term in elections due next year. Chilima's supporters believed President Chakwera would step aside and allow Chilima to run. Some of them suspect foul play. His party's called for an investigation into the crash, which the government has said it'll carry out. There's been tension between the president and his deputy since they won polls and took office 4 years ago. Chilima was charged with corruption, but the charges were later dropped. His supporters said they were politically motivated. Malawians have been struggling with an ailing economy and food shortages in recent years. Some are tired with the government and hope for change.
I'm devastated because of this tragedy. We are all mourning because as the Vice President, he was helping us in many ways. It's heartbreaking.
Meanwhile, Chilima's supporters are waiting to see who President Chakwera will appoint to be the next Vice President. Saulos' widow, Mary Chilima, is among contenders being discussed on radios and social media. Chilima was popular among some Malawians, especially younger voters. Many say he seemed different to others in the political establishment. He promised to fight corruption and bring change. His supporters were waiting to find out how he'd do in next year's presidential elections. Now, they never will. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Lilongwe, Malawi.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.